Happy New Year, Renegade Nation! Before we begin the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to our most recent Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Beta's Bandicoot, Bash Fetch'em, Crystal Gomez, Chris, Oliver Odegaard, James Butterworth, Amar Shika, Rogelio Gomez, Sean Delaney, Jessica Bogus, Dan Robin, Liam, Farron Chowdhury, Harris, Biggest Dickus, Monty Python fan I see, Trentix, Jawad Krebs, Ju Chin, Good Christian Boy, Lindsey Johnson, Jordan Kirk, Hanolex, Banana Peel, Devon, Fathalo, Lit, Thomas Mollett, Elite Leaks, and Moisty Justice. And I would also like to give a big shout out to our executive producers, Joshua Fix, The Gimpster 101, and Bevan Brummett. Thank you all very much for your support. If you want to become a YouTube member, click the join button right down beside the subscribe button down below. And if you want to support us on Patreon, feel free to click the link down below to find out more. We'll see you there.
Oh no, if it's Renegade, he's gunning for me.
Motherfucker!
Come on, friends, go, 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 go. So many people dead.
Damn it.
Oh no! No! Oh no!
Oh, hey, Aaron.
So you're dead. Yeah. Okay.
No! Quick question, Nick. Have you ever seen the movie Chef? Well, of all the things for Jon Favreau, you know, the guy who directed Iron Man, the guy who directed and has supervised and written a lot of The Mandalorian, for all of the films for him to direct, you wouldn't really think a film about food, like, you know, the beauty and the decadence and just like the overall joy that you can get from making and seeing others enjoying your food. You know, you wouldn't think, you know, that would be something that would be on his radar, but the man is, like, the term foodie is overused way too often. You know, people post shit on Instagram, it's just like, I'm a foodie. It's like, yeah, you take awesome pictures of food other people have made and, you know, you like eating it, but at the same time, like food that you make yourself and you see others enjoying, it's just like, you know, I don't like to talk a big game about my fried chicken or anything like that. At least, like, I don't, like, post about it and all that. But a lot of people who've tried my fried chicken have said it's really good. And my stepdad as well. My stepdad says the one thing that he always enjoys about the holidays is making a whole lot of food for everyone to enjoy and just seeing them sitting there, you know, just enjoying his food and all. And it's a brilliant movie about a chef who goes through a little bit of a breakdown after his career kind of goes off the tracks, and he has to rediscover himself. And Jon Favreau plays the chef himself, Carl Casper, and Robert Downey Jr. is in the film, Sofia Vergara, John Leguizamo, a lot of really, really big name people, and it's a brilliant little film, and I think you'd like it a lot. It's on Netflix, I think, still. One thing I loved about it was the music. I mean, it's one of my favorite, like, I'm not going to say guilty pleasure, because guilty pleasures are, like, universally accepted as, like, bad films, except this one is not a bad film.
Stuff you're embarrassed to have people know that you enjoy.
Yeah, that's what kind of a guilty pleasure is. Instead, I will call this a hidden gem. It's one that not a lot of people knew about, but after discovering it, it becomes like one of their favorite films. And, you know, as much as you want to get into cooking and you like cooking and everything, I can wholeheartedly recommend it.
Right on.
But
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, but Babish has already done, I think he's done a recipe beforehand. I know I've seen it earlier. It's the Cubanos. He makes Cubanos, which are, you know, very specific types of sandwiches that are specifically from Cuban neighborhoods. And I think that was the first one he made. Then he makes this one, and very special guests show up, Jon Favreau and Roy Choi. Roy Choi was the supervising chef on the movie Chef. And, yeah, the molten lava cakes. These are These are
Lava cakes are pretty good from what I've had of them.
yes,
So mostly I've only had Domino's, but even Domino's is really good.
Yeah,
lava cakes.
Domino's was I'd say I'd give it an easy 6 out of 10. My mom made lava cakes one time, and they were delicious. Although she had a problem getting it out of the little crucible, like the little crucible that you supposed to make them in. You're supposed to like knock it, and it just falls out if you butter it properly. Mm-hmm. But it didn't work that well for her, so it came out a little wonky. It had part of the cake was still in the little thing, but yeah, it. I guess Babish, we're gonna see what he brings to the table in this. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Here we go.
Chocolate lava cake is not just undercooked chocolate cake. That's not what makes the center molten. You take a frozen cylinder of ganache and you set it in the ramekin so that as the outside cooks fully, the inside becomes molten. Okay. It's f***ing molten, see? It's f***ing molten, you hole.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Binging with Babish, where this week we're taking a look at the
I was very passionate about chocolate lava cake.
Chef. Now, lava cake is actually pretty awesome. Oh my god, you guys, look who it is. It's Roy Choi.
That was sort of the breakdown moment of the film. That's one of the parts that's just, yeah. But
and Chef Carl Casper from the movie here to teach me how to make it.
Well, hold on. I'm actually Jon Favreau. I'm not. Carl Casper is just a character.
So, Carl, why did you dislike the
I like lava cake.
Okay.
So that's where I'm different from the character I played.
I don't understand what you mean, but we're gonna soldier on and make some chocolate lava cake. We need to get you
Andrew
uniform.
Come on.
Let's get some Babish aprons on. Let's start cooking. We're gonna start by melting some chocolate. Yeah.
So we're going to start by measuring out 14 ounces of good dark chocolate, 4 of which we're going to melt in a double boiler. Use your nearest Jon Favreau if you have one. If not, just use a rubber spatula. Keep the water at a bare simmer and melt until nice and smooth, and then we're going to slowly drizzle in a half cup of heavy cream. This is going to make a chocolate ganache filling, which, as we saw earlier, is essential.
So this is the way it should be. Carl Casper's actually making the real stuff.
He's John.
Who? Sorry?
He's John.
It's movies or make-believe.
I don't know what you mean.
Just like you're not Oliver Babish.
I'm not.
Scrape it outside the bowl and place it in the freezer for at least 2 hours. Then it's time to make our cake.
We need 12 tablespoons of butter and the remaining chocolate. Yeah, this is not an art. This is very much a science.
Okay, there you go.
And same deal.
Melt together a stick and a half of butter and the remaining 10 ounces of dark chocolate. Meanwhile, we're going to combine 6 large eggs and half a cup of light brown sugar.
I want to see who can crack an egg with one hand the best.
I do it for the movie.
Yeah, John does it. I'm actually horrible at it.
yeah, smooth, buttery smooth there, John.
Beat together the eggs and brown sugar.
The pro chef cannot do a one-handed egg crack. Some people can. It's like smaller hands. Like my mom can't do
I don't know if I do it right, but I figured out a way to do it. The only bad thing about it is like I usually get some of the egg on my hands, and I definitely have to wash my hands right after.
Yeah, I've managed to get like a one-handed egg crack down, but not that good.
It looks like I do it the wrong way though, for sure, because the way he did that was like the way I do it is I grab the egg so that the top of it is pointing between these 2 fingers.
That, yeah.
And then I have like the bottom of it with these 2, and then I'll crack it, and then I'll like
do,
basically put pressure between all of those fingers. He had it turned to the side though, and he went like that, and I think that's what you're supposed to do, and then kind of pull apart like that, maybe.
Yeah, mine, I have the bottom right here wrapped up halfway, and I have the top nestled right here, and then I pretty much crack, and then I split my hand apart like this, and it opens the egg up. But
yeah, I need to like basically I just watched like Gordon Ramsay do it like quickly a couple times. I didn't really like analyze it. I need to like actually look up a tutorial for how you're supposed to do
it. I'll say this: I'm nowhere near perfect at it. I've been able to like get it down pretty good, but it's just one of the little things that you can learn as you go. But anyway, back to this.
until they are light and frothy, and then we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract and maybe a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of Grand Marnier. Then Roy's going to explain why we slowly add the chocolate.
Yeah, so this is like splashing yourself with water before you go into the pool.
Oh, is that? Tell me how that works.
No, it's like
you're not cold. So
you're not cold. You know, like when you splash your body with water.
Bring it nice and center.
There we
Yeah.
You got good metaphors, dude.
He does.
I got good what?
Metaphors.
Oh yeah, man.
That's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was about to. I thought that was fighting words, man. Got my street shit back on you, man. I was like, what? Yeah. So now what you've done is you've allowed the eggs to
Accept the temperature of the.
Scrape all the chocolate into the egg and sugar mixture, and then we're going to add a tablespoon at a time, 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Make sure you keep count.
Well, I should count these 3.
Once all the flour's been incorporated, it's time to start looping up ramekins with butter and sugar.
Yeah,
And
you
grease
see,
it down.
the ramekins, that's what they're called. I called them like little crucibles because, you know, that's kind of like what they're shaped like. But these right here, my mom did not get them buttered properly. Some of them came out okay, but most of them she had to like kind of rip and like twist out to get just right. But yeah.
All right, I got it.
The butter is absolutely necessary if you ever expect to get the cakes out of their 4-ounce ramekins. Then an additional coating of raw or demura sugar is going to not only provide a crunchy exterior to our cakes, it's going to make them even easier to get out of the ramekins. Simply sprinkle in a few
That's probably the
tablespoons
tip your
and
mom
rotate the
needs.
ramekins over a bowl to evenly coat with sugar. Use your spatula to evenly disperse cake
I wonder what
batter.
kind of sugar they're using. It looks like brown sugar almost.
to control the flow. You go higher up. There you go. Now catch it. Pull back. Great.
Fill each ramekin a little under halfway with cake batter, and then it's time to start dispersing frozen ganache.
So just drop it right in there like a little baby.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Just like
We're aiming for between 1 to 2 tablespoons of ganache. Then it's time to top each of these up with the remaining cake batter, hoping that we've reserved enough to evenly cover our ganache babies.
We're cutting it close.
I know.
See, we transferred it too many times, maybe.
So hopefully the music reflects the suspense.
This is called cheating the camera. Do you do that on the show?
That's right.
Now we have preheated 425 degrees Fahrenheit. It's time for John to execute the
You know-
Babish walk-off.
What's the Babish walk-off?
You just go like this, hold it up for a second.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
There we go. Babish walk-off.
Those cakes
Beautiful.
are gonna be baked for
Beautiful.
11 minutes.
Hey, you got it, Roy.
Time
You know
to
what's up.
Order some strawberries and get ready to plate these guys up just like they were in the movie. Out of the oven, place them immediately on a cooling rack.
How's that feeling?
Pretty
You
warm.
feeling good about it?
Oh yeah, you can see the chocolate bubbling out.
Is it doing good things?
Run a small knife around the outside of each cake to make sure that it releases easily once inverted. Now
Okay.
it's time to plate.
Clear.
I've never done this before.
This is it.
This was the one dish
Yeah.
that it was already plated.
I can't get a grip on this thing.
Mamma mia.
Oh.
Soft peak with cream.
Oh, I'm gonna have to send this to my mom. She'll freak out over
Sure that
this.
you're plating things up accurately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like coming
pretty
up the
good.
front and then a couple berries on the side.
Dust with a sprinkle of powdered sugar on the cake and a sprinkle of cocoa powder on the plate. Then finally, it's time to dig in.
Here we go.
It's molten.
Amazing.
Excellent.
That was a team.
That's the frozen cylinder of ganache.
That is
I did
it.
that.
Oh man.
Yes. It is.
It doesn't taste like raw cake in the middle of the. This is so good.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
This cake is delicious, relatively easy, and perfect for Valentine's Day. Next year.
You know what's weird is that Oliver Platt is Oliver Babish, which is his name. His name is Andrew.
Yeah.
But he's named after the guy from West Wing, right?
Yep.
And
That's
the guy from
Oliver
West
Platt,
Wing
that's
is
right.
Oliver Platt,
Yes.
who's in our movie.
Yep.
Hold on a second. Let's talk about this. Get this on your camera.
Accurate, chef.
There you go.
What's going on here? Yeah.
As Chef Sport.
Here's the fork.
Yeah. That's from the movie. Maybe not.
Did we get close? Pretty close.
Pretty good.
I got a longer neck on mine, but that's.
There's the fork. And you know what? Here's a gift for you.
No.
Oh.
Yes, fork from the movie.
Hell yeah.
Holy shit. That's so amazing.
Well, it's not often that somebody gets a tattoo of something
So yeah,
Kick ass.
you could tell Andrew was geeking out a bit over having not only Jon Favreau but also Roy Choi in there, because Roy Choi is a tremendous chef. But
yeah, that's legit.
Also, I need to check on something. Chef. Yeah, there it is. Oliver Platt. Yeah, oh, there he is. Okay. So, that's another little thing, too. Binging with Babish, the name Babish comes from The West Wing, and Oliver Platt, who plays the character who critiques the critic in the Chef movie, is played by Oliver Platt. So it's a little inside baseball there, but gosh, dude, I love that freaking movie. I love it. It makes me just want to travel across the country and just test out all the foods from all the different places, because
always want to do that anyways.
Well, yeah, I do too. It's just when
you showed me the clip of Homer Simpson talking about all the different things he wanted to eat when he just went to New Orleans
and just gorged himself.
That's like me. I'm just man, I can't eat half of these things, but I want to try.
Red beans and rice. I honestly, the po' boys, I would have to give those a shot. Also, there's a clam place that Dave Chappelle and Norman Reedus checked out. It is if you want to, you can go out and you can pick your own clams up out of the mud.
I'm not a big fan of clams and oysters, but
well, that's fair. But yeah, they actually showed the episode of them doing it. Seeing Dave Chappelle in waist chest high wading boots and walking through the mud and picking up clams and just being in all honesty, I love clams and oysters and shit, but yeah, I don't understand. And then the clam guy that they were out there with just cracks open a clam, and he's just you want to see how we do it old school? And Dave's bring it on. And then all of a sudden he cracks the clam open and just eats the oyster raw right there in front of Dave. And then Dave looks back at him and just goes, "All right, that's gangsta."
Yeah.
I love that shit so much.
Gross, though.
Well, I
wouldn't do that.
No, I mean, honestly, I've had oysters before. Raw, I tried it out one time. Not my thing. Very, very salty. Very, very salty. But cooked, cooked properly, steamed and everything. Oh my gosh. Just delicious.
Clam chowder is about the only acceptable way that I've had anything clam.
Clam chowder is also really good. I hate when they use too much mayo in it, but the clam chowder that I've had, it was based more with cream cheese. Yeah, the cream cheese kind of is the best for sure. Oh yes, love those. But yeah, the whole thing with binging with Babish, being able to have Jon Favreau come in, and I wonder if Andrew is a fan of The Mandalorian. He's just hey John, can you tell me secrets about The Mandalorian? And I guarantee you, John's just no, let's cook some food. God, dude, I love Babish so much. I don't know what it is. Andrew just has a great presentation and a great I don't know, man. It's just
he's a good teacher.
He is. There's that aspect.
Got his own style and flair to how he does his videos that are just entertaining. So I like learning while being entertained. It's always a good experience. So.
And that's the thing. I mean, you can tell he has a filmmaking background because of the level of detail and the level of care and thought goes into every shot.
I never even thought about the Babish walk-off until this episode. I've seen him do that so many times, and it never registered to me that he does that all the time. And that's a purposeful thing that was thought about.
Well, whenever you have your own thing, whenever you form the motif that makes you, that you see, it's like the barrier that you and I have with through the camera lens. We are who we are on this couch, and we try and be as real as possible. But there's things that we don't say and we don't talk about that is mostly like stuff like in private and stuff like that we don't reveal. Now, forming a personality that people on camera can be familiar with and has like actions and motifs that define that character. That's just like when Andrew started the channel, he was calling himself Oliver Babish because to him, whenever he was on camera, he needed to be someone different because, according to him, Andrew Ray was not an interesting person. But if he called himself Oliver Babish, then he could pretty much be playing a character all the time, which is how a lot of people are. There's on-camera personas. That's just like I've heard a lot of people say Jacksepticeye in his on-camera persona. He tries to be as real as possible, but he also can flip that switch on and become Jacksepticeye. Whereas when the camera's off, he's just calm old Sean McLaughlin who likes to play drums in his spare time and just enjoys life.
So with me, it's kind of like what you see is what you get. Like I have a switch that I can turn on, but I don't turn it on unless I'm on stage.
That's his thing.
When I'm on camera, I'm still just myself, pretty much. This is how I am. I'm soft-spoken and don't say a lot unless I really have something to say.
That's sort of a reservation you have. Like you have your onstage persona. Which
some would argue that makes me bad for a reaction channel, but I don't know.
No, because here's the thing: we get what we get out of you. We get your knowledge, your experience, and your ideals and everything that you are not afraid to express. But then there are the moments where there's a breakthrough, and and that exterior that you put on cracks, and you're able to laugh, and you're able to be angry, and you're able to express yourself and be more animated. You see, that's the thing that I enjoy about having you on here is because there are those moments. And whenever something that does happen, it clicks with you, and then you're just sitting here, and then all of a sudden you go off and you start just getting angry about something. I'm just like, ooh, okay.
It's like the Pokemon thing. It's like, hold up, I got some shit to break down right here.
Exactly. And
it's like, that don't make sense.
Yeah, and then more recently here, the Attack on Titan thing, which,
yeah,
people
that's completely different. Then.
It is. But again,
it's like, yay, I have ADD and I can't remember every single fucking detail from the first 3 seasons, so I get shit on because I don't understand every single thing that happens in the episodes as I watch them. So clearly, I don't understand anything that's happening in the entire series.
Clearly. Just people expect you to know everything, dude, and that's just people keep in mind, everyone, we watch a lot of stuff on here. It's not like we're sticking to one thing. If we only did epic rap battles of history and that was it, guess what? Our channel would have been over a long time ago. And it's just like, I can't believe you didn't recognize this person from this epic rap battles of history. They were this and that and this and that. It's like, I've never seen that before. I don't know 100% who Watsky is or Zach Sherwin is or who, or at the time I didn't know who Boy in a Band was or anything like that. But now as I've experienced more of the internet, I'm able to understand, hey, this is what this person's famous for. Boy in a Band, the Stay in School song or rap, which was absolutely awesome. Zach Sherwin and his raps, Watsky and how much of an artist he is.
I don't get that mentality that people think that because we're YouTubers, we're supposed to be all-knowing.
Well, no. Well, it's not that. No, it's not that. But whenever I talk about
when we miss something and they get it, they immediately have a complex, and it's just it would make a lot more sense to me to be like, oh yeah, that's this person. They do this and this, and I'll be like, cool, all right.
But instead
they're just like, how could you not recognize them? And then they get mad, and I'm just like, dude, what's your problem?
Well, that's just another time, with Vanos. It was no. It was it wasn't. It was basically I Do Work. I think we watched one of his videos, and Tim the Tap Man was playing with them, and I got Tim's voice and Courage's voice confused at one point, and it's just like, good God, man, how can you get Courage and Tim confused? I'm just like, they sound similar. I'm sorry. if I'm not able to discern them because I don't watch Tim the Tap Man literally every fucking day or watch Courage every fucking day, I'm sorry. I like sometimes people's voices mold together. For instance, every now and again, I used to get Moo and 407 confused. Yeah. I'm sorry, but it happens.
Pissed because we didn't know who Aaron was just from his voice, and I'm just like, bruh, that's a voice in a different language I don't hear every day.
Oh, and another thing too, there was so many people like they didn't like weren't like condescending, but they were just like they were like touted the fact that they had the knowledge. It's just like, oh, the new Hell of a Boss episode, you know that that animatronic puppet was voiced by Beetlejuice from Broadway, and I'm like,
cool.
I'm like, Broadway's been shut down for literally a year. I'm sorry. Also, I'm not as up on Broadway as I used to be. The last time I was like up on Broadway was like college because I was just
I don't know like literally anything about Broadway. Like I know it's a thing that exists and plays there.
I knew a fair amount about Broadway.
In it. Like I just have no interest in it. So.
Well, that's fair. And me, I tried. For the longest time, I was into Broadway. I was like looking at, oh, this plays out now. I wonder what the music's like in it. But then around like,
I do know there's a song that goes on Broadway, on Broadway. That's about it. That's all the lyrics to the song I know too.
but you see, all in all, though, I've looked at. I think like the last musical play that I was interested in, I think was the Once musical, which came out I think 2016, and I listened to the music of it because I was a huge fan of the movie way back in the day. But that's about it. And before then, it was like years and years before I even paid attention to anything on Broadway. And look, it's like Chris Porter said, everyone's like got their spheres of knowledge that they're really good at, and then there's a bunch of other shit that they don't know a fucking thing about. And it's not right for you to judge another person for not knowing literally every single thing that's within your wheelhouse. I mean, look, Nick knows a shit ton more about metal bands than I do. I'm not going to pretend like I know more than... I don't. There's a shit ton of stuff and a shit ton of bands that Nick knows that I'm probably never going to fully know or understand because he has had a shit ton of time, and plus, where he's a metal singer, it's sort like he looks for inspiration. He listens to and plus, he likes the music that he likes. Yeah. That's just like
I've been listening to it since middle school.
Yeah,
so
and me,
seventh grade.
I call myself a metalhead, but I'm not going to say I'm the metalhead. I'm not. I can't make that statement.
I had quite a number of years where I just wasn't really into anything else either. Like I had a pretty close-minded musical opinion for a lot of high school. And then in college I started to open up a little bit more because I started to hang out with people who listened to some really good stuff from other genres. And B, I got invited to do vocals for a band that was even a style of metal that I wasn't into, and I was just like, alright, I wanted to do vocals for so fucking long, I am down to just binge listen to Suicide Silence, Bring Me the Horizon, and Whitechapel for the next 3 weeks and figure out how the hell to do these vocals. And that's what I did. And so when I went to try out for Since the Tragedy, my first band, they were like, hell yeah, man, sounds cool. I'm like, sweet. Nice. Because I was like, what style do you guys play? And they're like, deathcore. I'm like, oh, I don't really listen to deathcore. Okay. Ever since then, I've been pretty into deathcore too, though. So.
Yeah, I've personally...
And then when I worked at a music store, that was when I was just like, yeah, there's a lot of good music and just other genres overall, but I still know, hands down, the most about metal, and metal is still hands down my favorite.
Yeah.
But my favorite band of all time is a prog rock band, so...
That's fine.
But still...
well, I mean...
It's just how it
Kohai, prog rock, they slide into metal every now and again.
Yeah, they do have elements of metal.
Yeah, but
mainly the reason that I like them is not even because they get heavy and stuff. It's just because the lyrical style and the lyrical content and the story behind it was just fucking epic.
Claudio's storytelling that he's able to portray in song is breathtaking.
Do you want me to tell my story of my tattoo real fast?
If you want
who
to.
Hasn't seen before?
If you want to, go ahead.
Basically, I was reading the in Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3 comic. And when it gets to the point where it starts to explain Heaven's Fence and how it's this amalgamation of planets and stars that are held in this specific shape by this energy, and nobody really knows what the energy is. Since then, we found out what the energy is, and that's even more epic, probably. But so this big event called the Mage Wars, where these powerful beings, like that they referred to as mages, like were fighting amongst themselves, and this one guy. That was one of them, Wilhelm Ryan, was essentially trying to take over and be the only one, and he did end up succeeding and became Supreme Tri-Mage Wilhelm Ryan. But during these Mage Wars, the key work, which is the energy that holds them together, got damaged, and 9 planets and a sun broke off from Heaven's Fence and drifted into space, and nobody knows what happened to them. And when I read that, I was just like, holy fuck, that's epic.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. And I got a tattoo of the key work.
There you go.
So, yeah. I don't know if it's an angle.
Yeah, it's showing up. I see it on camera. But that's...
Yeah, I didn't even want a tattoo before that point. And I was like, that's something I'm down to get a tattoo of. Because I always, thought about it. And I was like, I want something that really, means something to me, that is very, very cool, that I know I will still like for a long, long time, if not forever.
Yeah.
And I was reasoning it to myself, I was like, even if this is just an Amory Wars tattoo, I know I fucking love the Amory Wars part of their music. Even if they ever just drift off and do something else I don't really like as much, I can still say that still represents that story and the part in their music that I really, really, really loved. So
yeah, and you see your whole thing with how deep you are into Kohai. I've listened to a fair amount of Kohai, but I'll just, my whole thing is my
at
first
this point,
experience.
we have turned the Babish video into a 30-minute podcast.
Yeah, so I'll just end this here.
Yeah.
So my whole thing with that is my first experience with Kohai and Camry was when someone let me listen to Welcome Home, which is by far their most wide-reaching song.
Yeah.
But
the first one I heard was before Welcome Home came out. It was Favor House Atlantic, and I thought it was a girl singing. And I went and watched the music video, and then I was like,
"That's a dude."
It's
that's a big dude.
Is he are they doing a bit where the dude's singing the girl's part? And I was like, no, that dude actually sounds like that. Holy crap.
Yeah, Claudio's got a great voice.
Yeah.
Still does.
Crazy high voice.
Yeah.
Very, very not annoying for a high voice too.
No. He's very lyrical.
It's soothingly high.
When most people try and sing high, they lose their enunciation and they lose their ability to convey the words that they are singing.
Mm-hmm.
Claudio doesn't lose that. I understand literally everything that he's saying.
I don't always, just because of how he writes the lyrics.
That's true.
He does a thing with
I've
told you about that. He'll uniquely fit syllables from words in different places, to where occasionally I'll have to actually look it up or listen to it several times to get what he's saying in that part.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. It's a unique way to actually write your vocals too, so that keeps it interesting.
Well,
it's weird timing. It's not necessarily just they're all being read out like poetry and stuff.
Yeah.
They're being worked into the music.
Well, yeah. We turned a friggin' 6-minute video into literally a 31-minute video. Yep. So again, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you want to see more from Binging with Babish, feel free to click the link in the description. Head to the original video, and if you want to see more from us, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to stay notified. And until next time, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.